Hey everybody, it's Belinda. Today I have a sitting in the hot seat with Brandee. She's gonna be sitting in this hot seat. Let me invite her on. She's here already. Let me invite her on in this hot seat. Brandee, I've been waiting. Putting the hot seat up for you. Come on in. I just sent you in. Hey Brandee.
Hi, Belinda.
Oh,
how are you doing?
How are you?
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can.
Okay, good.
I can hear you now. How are you?
Okay, good. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm good. You ready? You ready for this hot seat?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm so ready.
I got some good questions for you. So everybody, Brandee is an experienced public health practitioner. She's a disability inclusion and accessibility advocate. She's a blogger. She's the founder of Be Out the Box. It's not a cliche. It's a movement. Brandee's on sitting in the hot seat. Let's see if she get hired. We got a lot of pressure on you, Brandee, but you can do it. So let's start with, tell me a time you've had a good boss or a good leader.
A time when I had a good boss or a good leader. All right. Well, I had a boss that was a good advocate for trying to get me to advance in the company. And I know some people may not like that, but what I appreciated about this, though, was that it's helped me stretch. It helped me grow. And it also wasn't someone trying to get me to kind of pigeonhole me into a certain lane, and they weren't afraid to maybe lose me. Because, you know, when you help to advance people's skills, it's a chance that they might go on to different departments, different divisions, maybe even other organizations that want them. And so I really appreciated the fact that he saw something in me that he thought would be able to advance and go into other realms. And not just do the same old thing that I was doing. And also, he was also very open and like, not an open door policy like all the time, but he was very open to hearing ideas, and he wanted to hear your concerns and things like that. So I would say that's a good time. That's a time when I had a good boss. Okay,
can you tell me, why is it important to have a good boss or a good leader? Why is that even important?
Well, it would be important. I think it's important, one, to help maintain morale of a company, also help to progress on the goals of a company. So you can progress on goals, but have a horrible morale. People just, you know, if people don't want to follow you. So a good leader will be someone people actually want to listen to, and they want to follow and learn from, and help to meet the goals of the project or the organization. And so I think it's very important for the organization to be sustainable, as well as to keep the morale of the people who are working there.
Okay. How would you define a good working environment?
A good working environment. Well, it had to have some different components. I would say, this is tough. That's a tough one, Belinda, but I would say a good working environment would be one where people feel safe at work. They feel included. They feel like they belong. They feel like they can voice their opinions and their concerns, and that they can just really, I hear a lot these days around diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives about being your authentic self. So I feel like a good work environment would be one where a person could bring their authentic selves to work and feel safe to do so, and that they wouldn't be reprimanded for doing that. And also that hopefully you enjoy coming to work. You like to go there and do your job.
Okay. So why would that be important to you?
It would
in a workplace. Why would that be important to you to be able to be your authentic self?
Well, we spend a lot of our time at work, our waking hours at work. So hopefully it is a place that I want to go to, and I enjoy being there, and I don't have to be somebody else for 8 to 10 hours plus a day, and then just only be in my authentic self for, you know, whatever little time I have between rush hour traffic and bedtime, and on the weekends maybe. So I think that's really important. And also there's value in ourselves. We all bring unique skills and personalities and traits to work. And so if we can be authentic, that's the best way you can get that from an employee. If you don't have that, then you're not going to get the best of them.
Okay. Have you ever had a bad leader?
Yes.
And can you define what made them bad? Or bad? Yeah, what made them bad?
Well, I don't know that I've had a boss, any particular person that was just all bad. What I'm gonna do is take some traits from different people that wasn't a good or ideal quality for them to have as a leader. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay.
Okay.
So I would say one would be not leading with integrity. So a boss who asks you to do things that is not like really legit or a company policy, and they feel like they want to, or somebody who asks you to do something that they would never do themselves. I think that that's not a good boss. That's not a good leader. I don't feel like you should ever ask an employee to do something that you wouldn't be willing to do, or put your job on the line to do, or if you think it's something that important. I also would say another quality of a boss that I've had in the past that I didn't appreciate was one that I had ideas for things I wanted to do, to learn more about different areas in the company, and they didn't help me try to progress. They didn't make the connections needed to help me grow in those areas. They kind of pigeonholed me and kept me in that one lane and that specific area. And I don't think that's cool at all. If a person expresses that they want to build or grow in an area, even if you don't personally, like as a leader, you don't personally feel or that's something you're like, I don't see that. You're not a good teacher. Well, help that person grow to be a teacher, or let them know why you might be hesitant. Even be honest. Don't ignore. I don't like being ignored. I think that's a bad leader. I don't like non-responsiveness. That's a bad leader. Because how can I do my job if you're not responding to me or telling me what it is that I need to do? So those are some of the traits I would say that will make a bad leader. And I've experienced all of those.
Okay. Do you think that you have the traits of a good leader?
Yes, definitely. I believe that I'm a good leader. I lead with integrity. I possess accountability. I am empathetic, which let me classify this because I know somebody who knows me is listening. They're like, Brandee is kind of tough. I am going to be tough, but when I say empathetic is when I'm assigning tasks or organizing projects, I think about what this means for my employees, or for my team. How is this going to impact them as far as their other work that they had to do, their workload or their weekend? If they have a vacation coming up and I give them a lot to do, what is their life going to look like for the next 2 days before they go on vacation? So I think a good leader thinks about that. They have empathy for their employees, and they don't just build up work on them and give them things to do that's unreasonable. And yeah, I definitely think I'm a good leader.
Okay.
And also, like I said, I lead with integrity, and I feel like I hold a good example of things that a person should do in a workplace.
Okay. Okay. Can you tell me what you would consider a good coworker?
Okay. So I have to keep this for this portal. So what I would say as far as a good coworker, someone who does their job and does it on time. That's they pull their weight, because being a good team player is what I would say would make a good coworker. Having a good energy about themselves and things like that. But definitely being able to take your load. If you're supposed to do something, you should do it. And if something happens, things happen. You get overwhelmed, or you have other things that come up and you may not be able to finish stuff. So just being honest about that as well. I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect, but I definitely think that you need to speak up, and you need to, if you sign up for something, you need to get it done.
Okay. What would an old supervisor of yours say something good about you? What is one thing good they'll say about Brandee? An old supervisor.
Yeah. An old supervisor would say just one thing, just one.
You only say one good thing.
If they said one good thing about me, I think they would say that I am. It's hard to pick one. I'm not trying to say like that. Like I have so many. One that I know that I hear all the time is reliable. I'm really reliable, and that you can count on me to do what it is that needs to be done. For better or for worse, whether that means I have to get up extra early, stay extra late, I'm going to do what has to be done. Or if for whatever reason I can't, just like I talked about a couple of minutes ago, I'm going to be honest and tell them I can't. But definitely they can. I'm one of the employees that they can count on to be there when they're supposed to be and do what they're supposed to do.
What is one bad thing you think they would say, or an area of improvement they would say Brandee needs to make?
Okay, well, it's always the other side of the coin. So I think for me, one of the things they might say is to set more reasonable expectations, not just for others, but for myself as well. Just kind of playing it a little bit more even. I have some standards that, you know, some might say are a little high. I'm harder on myself than others, so I could say that. Like, even if, yes, I do expect my coworkers to perform. I expect people to do their jobs on time. I do expect those things. However, I'm harder on myself than others, and I think that they would say that even with the goals that I set forth, even like my annual goals and things like that, they can be quite lofty, which is good, but they probably could be a little bit more reasonable. So I would say they might suggest that I bring it down just a little bit.
Okay. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
My strengths in the workplace?
In the workplace.
I would say that I am very organized. One of my strengths that I appreciate most about myself is I feel like I'm adaptable. And even though I have an internal struggle, if the room is going crazy, internally I'm going crazy too. I'm going to adapt. I'm going to adjust to the time. I'm going to adjust to whatever is needed. I'm going to do whatever needs to, whatever it takes to make everything come out as it should for us to meet our goals. And as well as being adaptable, I also mean I'm able to adapt or be flexible in different environments, different teams and different people. Because I can work with leadership and know how to talk to them. I can work with community members or people who might be lay people to the terms or to the area of expertise that we're talking about. So I'm able to adapt to different conversations and different groups of people to talk about whatever it is that needs to be talked about and just be able to work with everybody. So I think that's a great quality that I possess, is just being able to adapt and be flexible in not just the work situations, but also in working with different people. And as far as things or weaknesses, which weakness do I want to expose? So yeah, I would say, I'll use an example of my current position. I would say one of my weaknesses is budgeting. Not that I'm blowing up budgets, but just actually knowing how to, because I do a lot of contracts and things like that. So knowing how to parse out budget actually people's time, and knowing oh, this actual task is going to take somebody 10 hours versus 20 hours or that kind of thing. And I think that also that kind of falls in line with, I guess, the other kind of weakness-ish or area that I need to work on is it goes in line with my expectations. Because, I think that, you should be able to do this in 10 hours, but then it actually takes 20 or 15, and trying to get a handle on that. And so I've actually been trying to meet with some leadership people who that's part of what they do, or they've been doing it for years, and joining some of the budget calls around budget hour allocation for tasks and things like that. So I can get a better understanding of how to forecast hours and reasonable expectations for how much time different things should take.
Okay. So you gave a good example of an area that was a weakness and what you're doing to make it a strength. Is that what you do just internally when you feel like you have a weakness that you come against, that you take it head on and try to find a way around it? How do you deal with things like that?
Yes, for sure. For most weaknesses, I definitely try my best to find out ways that I can improve in the area or strengthen it so it's not as weak. I know I'm not going to be perfect or 100% in everything, but I think that I should be able to improve in most things. And I take my time to try to find out trainings or talk to people, networking, or I love Google, and trying to find out different ways that I might be able to enhance my skills in areas. Yes. Okay.
Tell me about yourself. That's the one question everybody hates at an interview. What would you say? Tell me about yourself.
Tell you about myself. Yeah. So I currently live in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Metro Atlanta, but I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I came here for public health school years ago, specifically health education and behavioral science. And now I have been working at a public health consulting firm it's actually just a professional consulting firm. I work in the public health division for about 13 years. And I've been working to do evaluation and technical assistance, particularly around SAMHSA, or substance administration, mental health abuse projects and things like that, and CDC work, and just trying to help grantees who get the funding from the government agencies navigate how, we want to learn how they use the money and how they've been able to impact their communities around various subjects. It could be anything from teen pregnancy. I work on a COVID project. I've worked on behavioral science projects, and I've also have a passion for working with people with disabilities, specifically accessibility and barriers in the community. And because of that, I've recently started a blog to highlight my experiences as well as other people's experiences in the community around like how they're dealing with accessibility or the lack thereof. And yeah, that's a little bit about me, as well as I love football. So I'm happy that season is coming up soon. And I like to read.
Okay.
As well as I like food too.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So what would be a deal breaker for you? You have your choice of any job that you want. What would be a deal breaker for you to go work for a company? What would they have to do or believe in or not believe in or not do for you to be like, no way would I work there?
Okay. Yes. You're trying to do inside scoop. Okay. Well, not necessarily a deal breaker. It's hard. I can't think of too many, like just one, this is the only thing. You probably have to have a couple of things. But,
okay. You can name a couple things.
Okay, great. Well, I think for me, since I have been in my field for so long, I have desire to advance and do more in the disability arena. I think that if that's not something that I can see myself doing in the position, it will be hard for me to want to continue on to work there. If they don't value people's like opinions, and again, like I said, bring an authentic self, if they're kind of really structured and stringent, because I've been at the same company for a while, and with that, I know when you change, I'm gonna be the new kid. I have to prove myself. They have to know me. They have to trust me, and I understand that completely. I know that I can't just, if people don't know me like they do now. Like they know Brandee will be online around 7:15
right.
every day. They don't know that, so I have to prove myself, and I'm okay with that. But once that hazing period or the grace period is over, if it's like really, really stringent and strict, I think that'll be hard for me. I know a lot of more environments these days are kind of more flexible, and I'm not even talking about flexible schedules per se, because I'm okay if I gotta work 8 to 5, 9 to 5, or whatever, I can do that. I'm just saying, like, just always having to like turn the red light on when you're at your desk. We want to make sure you're there. If you go to the bathroom, turn on that, the yellow light, that kind of thing. I definitely believe that it'll be hard for me to kind of shift from being like really just watched all the time. And if that seems to be the culture and like the vibe there and people are kind of tense, I think that would be hard for me to go to that.
Okay. You are hiring. What qualities would you be looking, what qualities are you looking for an employee to bring on to your organization to work with you?
Well, actually, it's funny. Some of the things that came to my mind first were probably actually non-traditional or not things that you hear a lot in interviews or hiring. Because I really want people who are down to earth, people who are willing to learn and put themselves out there. Because I think that's when you can get the most out of an employee, if they feel like you value them and you want to hear from them. I mean, integrity, accountability, honesty, and just being an all-around good team player, and hopefully having a nice attitude, a personality, because not that you have to come to work and expose or reveal all your secrets or your private self, but I just want people to enjoy being around you and being around the team, like just a good piece to fit into our team and our puzzle of, the team puzzle, and you could contribute in that way. Yeah.
Do you feel like you bring that yourself? That good attitude? Well, I know you can contribute, but a good attitude and I know you bring integrity, but do you feel like you bring all that yourself? That what you're asking from someone else?
Most days, yes. No. Yes, I do. I do think I do. And I've actually heard that too from employees and coworkers and supervisors and leaders. They want to work with me. I think that's one of the reasons why sometimes I do get pigeonholed, because they don't want to let me go, because I tend to be kind of low maintenance. Again, it's kind of contrary to my inner self, because I am kind of type A and I have all these thoughts and expectations in my head. However, when it comes to work, I feel like it's business, is, you know, what I'm supposed to do. So I'm not going to come to my supervisor with a bunch of problems and a bunch of complaints, unless I have like like it's either something really extreme, you know, important, or I have something constructive to add. And I think I'm low drama, and so I think that I think people appreciate working with me, because you're just going to get somebody that's there to do their job.
Working with somebody with low drama, is that important? Was that somebody you want on your team?
Yes, because I'm not here for that. This is not what I do. I love movies. I didn't say that in my little opening. I love movies and Netflix and all that, but that's not what I'm here for when I'm working. I don't want you to come with all your stories and your drama and people showing up to the job who used to date you and all the little horror stories I've seen or heard about and those kind of things. I don't want that.
So give it up for Brandee. Show her some love. Show her some love today. She made it through sitting in the hot seat. It was warmed up. She was ready. She made it through. So, Brandee, you did a good job. You're hired. You did an excellent job. Tell everybody what you do and how they can get in touch with you. Because I saw a comment on here, they're asking about your blog. So make sure you include that.
Yep, I do that. So yeah, it's www.b-outthebox.com, or you can find me on Instagram here, b.outthebox. Instagram. So yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm around Instagram all the time, and you can check out my blog. And I'm going to be posting some more soon.
So you tell me what you do.
What?
Your blog, what your blog's about?
You can send me a DM on Instagram, or you can go on the blog. I'm sorry, there's a page that says contact me, a button, and you can click that and it'll send me an email and I'll respond as soon as I can. I love to hear from people. So either way, whether it's Instagram or the blog, reach out.
Reach out to Brandee. If you're following me, you need to be following Brandee. Brandee from Be Out the Box. Thank you so much for coming on. Sitting in the hot seat today, you did an excellent, excellent job. So you are hired.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.